Oh, hello, this is Rebirth the Legend here with a replay now. Just gonna be checking out one of my games today. It's kind of in response to, um, it's kind of in response to something or a video I made the other day. But I screwed up and one of my hard drives failed, and we can even pull it up and look at it. Wow, both of them failed now. That's discouraging. That sucks. Anyway, so my hard drive failed, and it failed to actually save the recording of something I did. Where I was looking at someone's match history and just analyzing it and just seeing what you can tell from match history. Generally, that's really only useful for carries because carry mistakes can be obvious from just looking at things like match history. And like you can use like the YASP analysis. Like you can't tell like if a support rotated correctly from like a replay analysis, or sorry, not a replay analysis, from like a Dota buff link. Um, So like one of the things I noticed in that game was that it kept feeding a lot on cores, which is like something that's really just unacceptable. In this game, I actually intended on playing anti-mage, and this motherfucker took it. I was very upset about that. So I just take my Alchemist, which I'm going safe lane in. They did like a really weird laning situation, which put the Tinker against the Pudge. It puts the Tinker against the Pudge. I end up in a dual lane against TB and Venge, and the Bane and Mirana end up against the AM. And in this game, you're actually going to see what happens when people like fail to adapt to like aggressive lanes, because the AM does not adapt to being in a 2v2 well at all, and our 2v2 goes pretty well, and I get relative free farm. But there are a couple errors we made this game. Oh my god, I forgot these guys are like, and they must be a TI or something, like Filipino, or they're actually just in the Philippines, because I think they said they were from the Philippines. They fucking disconnected like multiple times. Oh, my support's badass here. He like timed them walking and got like the perfect do word. Pretty good. Um, all right, so I end up in this dual lane. So here's one mistake that's made. He does not actually have tangos, which is really bad. He's just hoping off his regen, and he got some shared tangos. We didn't notice that at first, or I don't even remember if we noticed it at all. But basically, if Skywrath just focused his Qs on the Terrorblade, this guy doesn't even have salves. He just focuses his Qs on the Terrorblade. Each Skywrath Q does about 100 damage, so after reduction, it's like 75. His right clicks aren't going to do anything to the Terrorblade because of his armor and a poor man shield, but the Skywrath Qs are going to do a lot of damage to him. So you can get him to kind of low HP where he'd be scared to walk up into lane. He could also zone from behind me, which is fine. So let's look up here. Sam's like not getting any farm. He needs to be aggroing creeps towards him, and he's not doing that to control the creep wave right now. He's just like walking up and hoping to get a last hit. And this lane is hard, particularly when your AA is feeding. Yeah, they counterpicked me with the AA, which personally, like, I don't feel like it's a good Alchemist counterpick. Because the way you shut down an Alchemist is by roaming on him super early, right? And AA can't roam on him early. I mean, his ult hurts me late game, but that's it. So we got him to use his ult, so now you just try and avoid taking damage while he's in ult. And then once his ult's down, you can retake like your aggression in the lane. So that's one of those things where it's like you can try and force out the ult and see what you can do. And then that gives you power in the lane for like another, it's like 150-second cooldown on that thing, 140. So that gives you 100 seconds where you know like they don't have kill potential, right? So that's one of those things you want to keep in mind. TB in lane is actually a pretty good counter to Alec, but I think he needs like a bottle or some other form of like additive regen. Because I watched, I think in TI, they countered like an Alc mid with a TB, and the TB just shit on the Alec. Because like your acid, he has a high base regen and really high armor, so your acid's damage doesn't work like it does against other people. It's almost like using acid against a Dragonite. I didn't get over there quick enough. I was gonna tango the. Mine's my next two. Okay, I was gonna try and tango or calling blade that sentry just to annoy him, but I was like late by like a fraction of a second. So here we're just trying to get our creeps. I'm kind of alone here, which is like I'm not failing to get farmed, so it doesn't really matter. So the Skywrath is like stacking some camps right now. He could probably roam a bit. If he went middle, they could probably kill a Tinker. Oh shit! I want to talk about that. So I throw acid here. Like, notice I throw the acid center mass. This is really important, like, from an alchemist standpoint, whether you're mid or safe lane, knowing where to place your acid to zone someone out. If I put the acid all the way up here, so like the bottom of the acid curves down onto his creeps, he'd be able to run up just to like here to harass me, instead of having to run here where the acid isn't. So by placing in center mass against a melee hero, you force for him to be in the creep wave or try and harass you. He's going to be in the acid like the whole time. Against ranged heroes, you have to be like a little more nuanced with it, depending on your position in the lane. But against a melee, it's not particularly hard. Just make sure you get like the acid sprays, just center mass when you do this. So he tries to zone me here, and gets beat up, because what happens is when you try and fight here, you can't back down when you're the alchemist. You need to right click him in the spray unless it's like a 2v1 or something, or you can run away if you have boots. In this case, I do have boots, but he has boots as well. Whatever. Um, we'll just watch it. Yeah, we're next one. Okay. So you see, he's trying to position outside of the acid to fight me. So I just back up. He still needs to come farther to mess with me here. Okay, now he walks up and he's taking a lot of dot here. He tries to fight me again, but he's just getting dotted. The Skywrath runs over, gets his W off. I don't know like what he's talking about lag there. I mean, it's possible he lagged here, which is why I was ordering those creeps, but he was dead like anyway. Like, look at me. I have 60% of my health when he was down to like 1/3, and he's a very low health hero. That Skywrath rotation was going to kill him, whether it was just one concussive shot or a concussive shot and like a bolt. It didn't matter. But these are big things. This frees up the creep wave for me a lot, because while the when the Skywrath isn't there and I don't know the position of like the Vengeance stuff, you have to play like a lot more careful. That was really annoying. They aborted this camp again, dickheads. So I see the Pudge rotating, and I know the Venge is there and the TV, so I just leave. Like, I can't stay in this lane and feed. That's really, really bad, which seems obvious. So I tell the Sky they're rotating through. So my plan is just to go and jungle the hard camp. Because jungling this hard camp gets me my level 6. And when I have my level 6 in my soul ring, like, I can indefinitely stay in bottom, pretty much. And it's very hard for them to do anything to, like, stop me from that. Because killing an Alk through his regen is very hard. So the way you want to play with the regen is, if the lane's dangerous, you only go into the lane when you have, like, a healthy amount of your ult left. Or, like, you just, like, ult and then you walk into lane. Like, you can jungle, like, low HP if you don't think they're near you. But then, like, as soon as you go into lane, you want to have your ult up. That way, if they go on you, you're regen. You can't, like, not have your ult up, because if you give them the opportunity to, we actually don't get either kill here. The Bane starts talking shit that I don't have my stun. It's like, I'm a farming safe lane alchemist. Why would I have my stun right now? Plus, I wouldn't do anything. It doesn't do damage, first of all. And the stun isn't very long unless I max channel it, which I'm not going to be able to in that situation, most likely. Fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. I wish I could rewind to what I was talking about. Oh, but like, let's say you just have your ult up, but you don't use it because you're trying to be greedy. Let's just pretend I don't miss 2 creeps here. Actually, I only missed the one. The acid got the other one. Ugh. Ugh. Hold on. Oh, so the reason why, like, in a lane that's dangerous, you don't wait to use your ult. You use your ult to go into the lane, is because if, like, let's say you get chain stunned, you get stunned once or stunned. Let's say I get venge stunned into hook, into dismember, and I didn't use my ult because I'm waiting till I'm in danger to use my ult. That's 4 seconds where I don't have my ult up, which is 200 health I lose. So that's why, like, if you're ever in danger, you activate your ult preemptively. Or if you know you're going to be in a dangerous spot, you wait to use your ult. You don't use it on cooldown. You wait to use your ult. until you're in that dangerous area. Currently, there's not many dangerous areas. They actually, what happens here in a second? I think they just rotated 3 into here, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on, we'll check out free camera. So it's just the, I thought the Pudge was down here too, but they rotate like the Pudge down here or the AA, and they're just really looking for the kill on me. So what I do there is I just rotate in the jungle. Like Alk farms jungle pretty well with maxed acid, or even 3 levels of acid. This poor anti-mage is super upset. It's also bad. I don't know why you level your spell shield at all in this situation. But he levels like all of his abilities just straight out, which is not something you want to do, particularly in a pressured lane. It doesn't really help you that much. So, like, well, they're still trying to camp here, like, waiting for me, I think. Oh, he said the Venge was still here. But they, like, rotated and wanted to pressure this lane. In a little bit, I think they do it again. The Alk's getting pretty, or sorry, the Terrorblade's also getting decent farm. But, like, notice, like, I'm just trying to play safe because, I think, I don't know if I just missed it, if it happened already. But, they definitely had, like, 2 or 3 people in the lane waiting to kill me. Because I remember they rotated the AA once he gets 6. Is he 6? He's 7 now. So it must have happened already. Fuck. Alright. Okay, see, this rotation. I send the AA, the Venge, and the TB into here. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm not gonna stay in this lane because, like I said, the region's an important part to living here, and like if I walk into the AL, yeah, it's probably gonna result in me dying. So I just leave and start jungling here. Like that's a really important thing to be able to like recognize and like know how to be. Well, this is suboptimal. Obviously, farming a lane is better. Like I don't farm jungle slow, and it's gonna get me plenty of gold, right? So why would I put myself in a risky situation? So he TP top shortly after that. I don't think I knew though. So either I didn't notice him TP up there, or he remains hidden. Both are possibilities. But either way, like if I think I'm under threat, just knowing how to like play safely and then just move into the woods. Like don't sit in a lane thinking you only have to farm a lane. Like it's 12 minutes in, I got like 74 creeps, which is pretty low for my safe lane out. But the lane was kind of pressured, and I prioritized like playing safe and getting my farm and not dying over everything else. This game is pretty routine after that. I mainly want to discuss like knowing how to like rotate into this, knowing how to like play safe, like only going into a lane when you know like they couldn't kill you with their burst, right? Um, by utilizing your ult. I guess it's kind of Alchemist specific, but like on other heroes, I'm sure you can come up with another way. It's just like Alk is really durable when he's got his ult up, so that's something you know how to take advantage of. Same with like I guess a Slark. Like don't show in a lane without your packed up, and then you use your pack to enable farming in a more aggressive manner, and then like leap away or shadow blade away right as your pact wears off. Same idea. We'll watch this quickly, just for the fun of it. I go Radiance, Travels into Ags, and I give the Ags to my Tinker, and he does really well with it and destroys the game. And we win Dota. Come on. Yeah, it's just a lot. Man, I was getting annoyed with the Tinker too because he kept showing up to my fucking lane. Oh, I gave him the Ags already. Did I just give it to him? Oh yeah, I'm already at Manta. Yeah, I gave it to him. I think I had the. I think I had it for him at like uh 18, 19 minutes or something. At least you can like this hurts me a little bit, but assuming the Tinker is playing well, which you know he's I know the Tinker, so I know he's a good player. Um, I remember him complaining about that, and I didn't actually see it. That was pretty funny. Fucking noob. It's so impossible. You always want to try and pressure side lanes more. So my whole team's here, so I'm trying to like bait this out and look for a fight. This might have been a mistake. We get a lot of kills here. I TP middle though to take the tier 2. I probably just could have taken the racks here though, but on the end it doesn't really matter. Oh, there's one more thing I should have talked about here. So you want to know how to utilize first of all, I sold my soul ring for my Octarine core, which is fine in many situations because you just don't need that much mana. But I should have ditched the Poor Man Shield or the Quelling, most likely the Poor Man Shield. The only reason I keep a Poor Man Shield is against someone like a Wind Ranger who's underfarmed. Um, but the hell with the mouse go? There we go. But the reason why you keep the Soul Ring in this case is because you're against an anti-mage. So there is some situations where he could take away the majority of my mana, and in those situations you want to be able to have your mana back, because once you pop your ult, you regen very very quickly because the base regen this gives you, to bonus mana regen, gets increased by an Octarine Core's bonus regen and the Soul Ring's bonus regen. So that 12 becomes 18, or that 12 becomes 24 if you have both the Soul Ring and the Octarine. But what I did was he had a really late Battle Fury because I guess he was in a hard lane. Oh man, I'm tired. Um, but yeah, so there were times where he would like TP to a lane, and I would just go there, or if I was in the air, I'd make sure to like pressure him, chuck a concoction, drop an acid, and like auto him a little bit because he doesn't have a Vlad's. And when you see something like that, you know like this AM can't adapt to pressure because he doesn't have a Vlad's. So normally, like the way you want to play anti-mage is poor bugger. The way you want to, he clearly doesn't know how to play anti-mage since he's got everything maxed. He doesn't have a Vanguard. Whether or not that was the play, I don't know, but he didn't have the Vanguard, and if you're going to get all those stats, you should be getting the Vanguard too, and then trying to pressure lanes. But since he didn't have the Vlads, if he ever gets pressured, like nuked by the Tinker, he can't like regen by creeping, which is really important because if you can't regen by creeping, it means you have to go back to base. Um, so like there were a couple situations where like I think he came to like this tower once and this tower once where I saw him blink forward and I just acided him. I used acid and just ran at him. Um, and like I'm not planning to kill him. I'm just planning to harass him. And I managed to take away maybe half his HP, and then he blinks away. Um, I, I'm being a bit of a dick here. Oh, he corrects my spelling. So we got to double down on the bad spelling, so he thinks he lost to a moron. They want VS gank Rome. Oh my god. I'll give the TB that. I guess his farm wasn't like, considering he was an offlaner and he wasn't like getting full safe lane farm. This farm's not terrible. But yeah, so like I used my regen and my better, and like even if that AM was like did the same items and was in a different position, I'd still try and fight him like that. Alternatively, if I'm like an AM against an Alchemist, I always buy the Vlads and then like, I get quick travels and I try and go where he is and take away his mana just to piss him off. I mean, if he doesn't have a Soul Ring, that hurts a lot. When people have the Soul Ring, it's really hard to trade with them like that. But you can only do it before the Alch 16 because you can't man up on him when he's got the concoction, because he can actually kill you unless you also have the Manta. Yeah, so like this wasn't a particularly hard game. We enabled the Tinker to snowball by feeding him an Aghanim Scepter. I told him around it early on. I was like, you should just buy your own Ags and then sell it later when I give you one. So she did really well, and then I was able to farm safely. Whatever. Game wasn't particularly hard. I just wanted to bring up the topics of like how to approach your lane, the trades with the Terrorblade early on that resulted in a kill. I thought that was kind of something worth noting. How I moved to the jungle when I saw them rotating here, and just to make sure, like, I'm better carry the grammar. Good. Got him. Put him in their place. Clearly you lack an education. Lol. Oh, man. Great person. Yeah, so rotating back into the jungle and farming that when your lane is pressurized is really important when you're on a hero that can. And Alk very easily can with his acid. 1v1 Minecraft. Fuck yeah. But yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward game. I just wanted to go over those two basic concepts of like trying to play safe as a carry and applying pressure as a carry. So that's gonna wrap this one up. As always, feel free to send other replays, games, whatever.